Hello everyone, ALLEN.J from Standav here. And I'm going to show you 4 different ways that we help our customers manage data flow from Salesforce CPQ and Billing to NetSuite ERP. Starting with path number 1, we have the account, the opportunity, and a primary quote that we're going to build in Salesforce and then send that information over to NetSuite for order generation and sales order invoicing all the way through revenue recognition. In path number 2, we are going to build the use case from path number 1, but we are also going to use Salesforce to generate an order in Salesforce itself, and then NetSuite will take that order information, create a sales order, and manage invoicing through revenue recognition all the way through to the general ledger on the NetSuite side. Very similar to case number 1. Let me briefly show you what this actually looks like. So here we are in the account Mabel's Maple Syrup. And the sales rep has already generated a series of opportunities, and we're going to go look at one now. Here's our opportunity that the sales rep has filled out. You'll notice that he's marked it as complete already. And that is going to generate a quote. So we can click on the quote here. So inside of the quote, you're going to see that the sales rep has already created the quote lines for Apple Care, $200 per unit, 10 units for this quote. They would have also already approved this quote. And in path number 1, this data would now be sent over to NetSuite for order creation. So in path number 1, this information is now already sent over to NetSuite, where a sales order will be created and the remaining invoicing, payment, etc. will all be managed inside of NetSuite. Number 2, we're going to see that this quote has also has caused the creation of an order. And so we can go click into this order number. And now this order can be activated, and upon activation, that data passes forward over to NetSuite, shown here. Okay. From an integration perspective, we now see that NetSuite, we now have order 219, and that NetSuite will now continue this process through invoicing, account payment, and making adjustments inside of NetSuite. Salesforce, these are the classic Salesforce CPQ workflows, but notice that all the billing activity is being managed inside of NetSuite, and that billing data is not available for users that are sitting just inside the Salesforce instance itself. So who uses this? This is most frequently with customers such as software as a service business with basic license provisioning requirements, and also companies that have very complex supply chains who have already extensively built out their ERP system and need things such as supply chain management tools that already exist in their ERP systems. So as we move to path number 3, we now see the addition of Salesforce billing, and our customer is now going to be managing invoices and payments against those invoices inside of Salesforce instead of NetSuite. So notice in this example, we're back in Salesforce and we're looking at the order again. And we're now going to create and send invoices from Salesforce and also record payments against those invoices. So starting from order 219, we can generate an invoice in several fashions. First, we can go over to the Bill Now function and click that, and this is called manual creation. Or we can actually set up automation using an automated invoice scheduler that is triggered by the activated order status. This is done when your firm has a large number of invoices to be sent. And so here we can see in this example an associated invoice to that order, which is invoice number 065. So we'll go here. And one of the things I'd like you to notice is that in this example, Salesforce is now calculating all the tax and associated fees with the information and passing that information along to NetSuite. As you can see here, the total is $2,165 instead of $2,000 from our prior example, and you'll see that Salesforce is pulling over that tax information, and it will be carrying that over to NetSuite. Also, the invoice itself is going to be created and sent by Salesforce, and then the information is going to be passed along to NetSuite. So payments and collections occur here, and they can be managed manually or through automated payment gateways. And Dunnings and collections are also managed here on the Salesforce side of the instance. As an important side note here, some of the key benefits to this approach are that custom billing schedules and usage-based pricing are much more easy to manage here as compared to managed in NetSuite. Okay? And obviously, this invoice data from Salesforce is going to be sent along to NetSuite for completion of the revenue recognition process. So we can see that here. We're now in NetSuite again. And here is the invoice number 065 for Mabel's maple syrup. You'll notice that the tax and subtotal information are all gathered here in NetSuite, ready for processing for revenue recognition. And finally, we get to path number 4, which is our final example. So from our prior example, you'll see that we've already created the order, the invoice, and payment information is being forwarded to NetSuite. But here we're also going to have Salesforce Billing generate revenue schedules to assist us in recognizing revenue on the NetSuite side. So let's see what that looks like. So to review, we've already activated the order, which has triggered the creation of revenue schedules and the revenue transaction at the order product level. So here's the order number 219. And the product, the order products here, include AppleCare. And if we click on that and look at the revenue transactions, you will see the revenue transactions related to that transaction. So this will show all the journal entries that need to be synced with the ERP system. So now we're going to move over to NetSuite and I'll show you those journal entries. So here we are in NetSuite, and let's go look for those journal entries. So we're going to go to Reports, Financial, and then we're going to go look at the transaction details. And again, you can see the invoice information, including the taxes and the products itself. You can see the sales order, including the purchase and the taxes. And you will also see all of the associated journal entries have now been populated into NetSuite. So customers who only have subscription offerings such as Netflix, Slack, Zoom, and PlanGrid are the most common users of this integration approach. This shows you the flexibility and integration approaches available between Salesforce, CPQ, and Billing to NetSuite ERP. Thanks for watching.